Marhaba, that's hello in Arabic. I'm Chef Kamal and you're cooking with Kamal Lebanese style. You say baklava, I say baklawa. In Arabic we call it baklawa, and in all the grocery stores you'll pretty much find it as baklava, but it's all the same thing. The difference in what we're going to be preparing is that we're going to use clarified butter, a simple syrup that we've made in advance, and the fact that you're going to take this out of your oven freshly baked right at home. Okay, now the first thing that we're going to do is make sure that we have all our ingredients prepared before we open up the package of phyllo. So here I've got the ground walnuts already done, mix them with the sugar, and the mazahar, which is orange blossom. Now you can use cashews or almonds and also put the mazahar, or pistachio with maward, which is rose water. I've got my clarified butter. I've already prepared the syrup and that's cooled down, and then I opened up my package of phyllo. Now so many friends always tell me they can't imagine preparing baklava. They think it's quite hard, and actually it's very easy. I'm going to show you how simple it is. So what we're going to do first is just lightly butter the bottom of about a 9 by 13 by 2 inch deep baking pan, and I'm just going to go ahead and remove the plastic wrap because we're going to be transferring sheet by sheet right on here. So you just take one and look, you can just crumple it right down in to the bottom of your pan and just brush it with butter. And we're going to layer 7 sheets. Now what I did before I started, now each package of phyllo has a different number of sheets of phyllo in it. So what you want to do when you open up the package is count how many sheets are in that particular package that you're using. A third of them are going to go on the bottom. So what I've done is I've already counted out 7, which I know will go on the bottom, and the rest will go on the top. Now the reason that's important is in case you have, some packages have 26, some packages have 20, so it'll never be the same number, but if you divide it into a third, you'll always sort of have the right proportion on the bottom and the top. So you see now, it doesn't matter. The most important part here is just to keep making sure you have butter in between the layers. And even if they start to break, look at this, while it's breaking as I transfer it, it's no problem. Just go ahead and layer it right down into the bottom. The thing is to try to keep count. Now what I've done is I've put a little piece of plastic in between so I don't have to count, because unless you do that, you'll be amazed. You'll think you're counting and then you'll go, is that 7? Is that 9? You're not sure, and it's really kind of hard to count once they're in there. We have the 7 on the bottom. What we need to do is we're going to put the walnuts in the center here. So I want to put a barrier of phyllo so that when the walnuts get up close to the side of the tray, they don't burn while they're baking. So we're just going to take 4 sheets of phyllo. We take them one at a time. And I'm just going to take one and drape it over the edge here. Now you always want to butter it. The minute you put phyllo, you just want to butter it because it's the butter in between the layers that help make them bake together. So I'm going to put one here on this draped over the edge. I'm going to drape one over each edge. I'm going to drape one over this edge, the back side. See, always butter it. Sort of like the glue that's going to make all of these little pieces bake evenly and brown nicely together. And then I'm going to put this one here over the edge. And again, just going to lightly butter this. See, look, it's cracking up and it's breaking, but it's not going to matter because when it bakes, it's all going to be just one nice flaky sort of pastry. So it's all good. So there, that's my 4th one. And I'm just going to go ahead and butter that. Now I've buttered all of these. So now I'm just going to go ahead and take the walnuts, put them in, and look, we can just distribute this evenly over the bottom. Okay. And then we're just going to fold over the pieces of phyllo that are over the edge. And as we do, we're going to butter each one. So we're going to fold over. It doesn't matter which ones you start with. The important thing would be to butter each one once you fold it back in. So we just fold this back in. And now what I've done is we've created a little barrier between the walnuts and the side of the pan so that when the baklava is baking, we're not going to have any of the nuts that are close up against the edge burning and sticking to the pan. I'm going to go ahead and just layer the rest on top. And again, put butter inside of each one. And we're just going to, now it doesn't matter about the count because we counted in advance. We know it's the right number. The important thing is to just keep buttering in between the layers. Okay, we're down to our final 2 sheets. And these are the ones that we want to sort of place on top, just as flat as possible. They don't have to be perfectly flat, but we sort of want to make them as flat as we can get them. So just sort of press this down, sort of drape these over the edge, it's fine. And just lightly butter this. Okay, you fold this over. See, and that makes it look like they're nice and flat the whole way up. And first, take my knife, you're going to go around the edges and just tuck them down all the way around. If there's any phyllo that's sort of popping up here, you just want to go ahead and push that down all the way around. Okay, then what we're going to do is just butter this a little bit more. Then we take this sheet of plastic, this is what the phyllo came rolled in, and you just want to press it down to sort of even it out. Now you can use a spatula if you'd like. You can take a spatula and just press it, or just use your hands like this. And this way we're sort of pressing the layers together and making it even, but the layers are going to separate as they... Now what we're going to do is we want to cut this into about 4 dozen pieces. So the first thing to do is just do a cut right down the center. And then we'll do 2 cuts on either side. I find it easier if I cut in the center first, then I can make 2 cuts to this side and 2 cuts to this side. It sort of helps me, figure out exactly where I'm cutting. So that's good. Now what we're going to do is turn it, and on a diagonal, so these are 5 cuts, we're going to do about 9 cuts on the diagonal this way, also about 1 inch apart. You don't want to go too much on a diagonal. You don't want them to get, it's up to you, but you don't want them to be too diamond shaped, but you want them to have somewhat of a diamond shape. So I'm just going to do it at a slight angle. See, now you just cut down, and I just sort of put my hands on top to keep the pieces secure while I cut. Now I'm going to go ahead and bake this right now, and that's why you cut it now. If you weren't going to bake this, let's say you were going to bake it in a few days, you want to just put plastic wrap right over here, press it down, put it in a plastic bag, keep it in the fridge, and then bring it to room temperature. Cut it and bring it to room temperature, but it's better to cut it just before you bake it. Your friends aren't going to believe it. So easy to make, it's really so easy to prepare, fresh out of the oven, baklava. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. For more information on this recipe and my cookbook, Classic Lebanese Cuisine, please visit us at cookingwithkamal.com. I hope you enjoy preparing these recipes with your friends and family. As we say in Arabic, sahtain, double health.